What is shaking? Happy Wednesday to you. Got a few things to get to today. Important things. And it may not be a lot of things, but important things. We got the Giants, we got Devers, we have the end of the NHL season as the Panthers win their second consecutive Stanley Cup. But we have more important hockey issues to try to solve. We got a label, an alcoholic label, I guess it is, recommendation that's being taken away that I wanted to get to that we're going to celebrate today. And then we got one other thing that I thought I would throw in there. I uncovered something in my backyard. I need to get to it. Someone's been in my backyard. Let's get to the Giants first. Giants lose last night to the Cleveland Guardians. That's still a garbage nickname, the Guardians. Really? And why couldn't you have been the Indians and just got rid of the stupid red face Indian? You know, this guy? Like, please. Like, come on. That even if you, whether you thought Indian was or wasn't an okay name, the mascot was a joke. If I remember his name correctly, it is Chief Wahoo. I mean, that dude, are you kidding me? I mean, just straight red face and straight big white teeth. Like, bro, come on. Actually, I never thought Indians was a terrible name. But, you know, they didn't ask me. So whatever. I like Guardians is terrible. Better than the Commanders, but terrible. But with or without that terrible name, they did beat the Giants 3-2 last night. But it was a success for Rafael Devers. 2 for 5, double, single. Got on base in the 9th inning. Started the rally that, well, never really materialized. Doubled in Willie Adames earlier in the game. So, like, that's the type of bat you're going to get. Are they going to go 2 for 5? No, of course not. It's not batting 400. But that's the type of bat you get in the middle of the order with Rafael Devers. And even more importantly, I thought, anyway, more importantly than the 2 hits he got last night was the fact that he said, look, I'm here. Play me anywhere, bat, whatever. Just, I'm good. And that's what should have happened in Boston. But again, Boston's different because Boston was a team he grew up with. He came through the system. He was their guy. And they signed him to the big contract. And when you get signed to the big contract, you think, right, you're the face of the franchise. Like, you're meaningful to them. You're important to them. And then when they go sign somebody almost immediately that plays your position without telling you, and again, they don't have to tell him. That's not my stance, is they have to tell the player. Your job is to play. That's what you get paid to do. You don't get paid to be the GM. So they didn't have to tell him, but it would be nice, right? If you want to have a relationship with those type of players, your main players, that's what you tell them. Look, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're thinking. This is why we're doing it, blah, 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 blah. And then if he doesn't like it, well, then if you want to do it, you do it anyway. Again, he's a player, not in upper management. But you inform him. You let him know what's going on. It's just communication's good. Not, is it necessary? Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No, but I do it because I like it, and it's sterile. Something like that, whatever the line was. I think it's sterile, and I like it because it's sterile, and I like the taste. God, I miss him. God, funny dude. So, where was I? That line. You don't have to, but you should. You don't think the Warriors talk to Steph Curry when they're going to do stuff or when they're thinking about stuff? Doesn't mean he's not the GM. Mike Dunleavy isn't like, oh, okay, whatever you say goes. No, I'd like to keep you informed, keep you in the loop as to what's going on. And that's, what should have happened with Bunny. Leave my water alone. And then leave that beverage alone too. Bunny's up here. Bunny loves coming up. If I start the show and Bunny knows I'm over here, Bunny's coming over here. Bunny's good for the show. Bunny usually, if she's on the other side, she won't come roll over here during the show. But if she's over here and I start the show, say, what's up, bud? What's up? What do you think? Big Devers fan. Big Devers fan. So I'm sure that's what, I mean, that's why he was miffed. I love that you can see the ears there. Uh, that's why he was miffed. Oh, I'm your guy, huh? And you just go sign another third baseman? Really? That's what you're going to do to me without even telling me? Like, not consulting me, just informing me, keep me informed. So that whole thing started, and then it just went downhill from there. Just went downhill from there. So, you know, loss for the Red Sox, gain for the Giants. And I don't think, you know, everybody makes it seem like the Red Sox got nothing. They got something. Harrison could end up being like a mid-rotation guy. Like he could end up being a solid starter. And then Tibbs could end up being a bat, another outfield bat for him to go with their other two young rookies. So, it's a risk. Devers is more of a sure thing. That's why you're paying the money you're paying to get a guy like Devers. And that comes with risk too. It's an 8-year contract. How is he going to age? How's the body going to age? Is it going to look good 4 or 5 years from now? Also understand, the aprons will go up. Teams will have more money to spend. And that 30 million that eats up X percentage of your, I won't say cap because it's not a cap, but let's say eats up a certain percentage before you get to one of the aprons. I don't understand aprons. I don't. Even when I'm doing stuff in the kitchen, I never wear an apron. Although I don't mind aprons per se. But it's not all about the raw numbers. It's about percentages, right? It's just, that's what it's about. That's why when I got into percentages with Brock Purdy's contract this year, I said, yeah, it's about as big as everybody else's that signed, but his is 19% of the cap. And theirs was 23% of the cap when they signed. It's different. So that Rafael Devers, while the deal, his body may not age and the deal may not look like a great deal toward the end of it, it's not going to be as costly as you think it's going to be because the apron will go up. So, but there is some risk there, right? There is some risk, but I thought it was incredibly important for him to come and say what he did. I'll play anywhere. Where do you need me? I'm good. And again, you would like to think that's what he would have done in Boston, but I just went through the reasons he didn't. But he did it here. Who cares what happened in Boston now? He's a Giant. So he's good. Look, I got my money. We're good. Where do you need me? And that's all you want from a team. You want guys to say, what do I need to do for the team? What's in the best interest of the team? Doesn't always work that way, especially when guys don't have their money. When they don't have their money, then it becomes an issue because, they want to put up numbers and numbers help them get money. Once they have their money, it should be, what do you need me to do? What's in the best interest of the team? Where do you need me to bat? Where do you need me to play? How many minutes do you need from me? What position do you need me to play in? Not crying and whining and being a little biatch. Just, you got your money. Now let's win. Let's win. And there's so many guys that don't do that because they can't get out of their own selfish mindset. I need mine. If I'm batting lower than fifth, you're disrespecting me. If I'm playing first, I might get embarrassed. If I'm only playing 20 minutes a game, I'm not getting my shots. I can't, just like, I can save it. I wish players would realize the better the team does, the better you do. When the team wins, everybody wins. It's not just about one player. If you lose, then you look at one player and go, that guy had a pretty good season, but they didn't win. When you win, everybody just says, man, everybody had a great year. Great job. You look at some of those Warrior teams, like everybody got credit for those. Obviously, Steph, KD, Clay, Draymond, all those guys. And you see the quote right there. That's what you want to hear. Now, you got to follow through with actions, and I'm assuming he will. I'm assuming that wouldn't be one of the first things he says. And then it comes out, I don't want to play first. I don't want to play that. Because obviously that gives them flexibility. Now, You don't want him in the field a ton, I don't think. It's not like he's a positive. He's much better as a DH. So I don't need him in the field for 100 games a year. Maybe 40. If Eldridge is going to be at first base as well, maybe you give him a rest and you have a different DH, or Eldridge, if he makes it up here and he can play, then you're good to go. You want Wilmer to play, you want a different DH. It gives you some flexibility. Maybe, you can put him over at third. If you don't want to play, you got a right-hander, you don't want to have Schmidt up there. Or you need somebody to pinch run for Schmidt. Good Lord. Are you kidding me? But I mean, that's what you want. I want someone that's in it for, like, hey, what do you need? What do you need from me? So that was good to hear. Good to hear. Good to see. And again, this is the biggest middle of the order bat the Giants have had since Bonds. Since Bonds, the biggest middle of the order bat. When they were winning their championships, they had a solid middle of the order, whether it was Posey, Belt, Huff, Pence, whoever else batted in the middle of the order, that 3, 4, 5. None of those guys were as formidable as Rafael Devers. I mean, this guy's a stick. This guy's like a top 10, top 15 bat in the game, if not better. Like he's a guy. So to have that and have it for, 8 years, again, to me, it doesn't come without some risk, but it's also a no-brainer. This is just a no-brainer to me. You want to get a guy like that. You have a chance to get a guy like that. You go get a guy like that. They haven't been able to land that guy in free agency. Go trade for him. Boom. You're good to go. So, and they had a surplus of young pitching. So you could use that. Hicks, who knows? Maybe Hicks will end up being a solid reliever again. He really struggled this year. He was incredible last year to start the season off as a starter. Wasn't great when they moved him back to the pen. Was not good starting this year. So we'll see. But he can end up being a guy who is a good back-end guy. But the Giants' bullpen's been fantastic this year. So, I mean, Walker hasn't had a great year, but yeah, they've as a team, as a whole, they've been really good. And the good young pitching depth, we haven't even seen Wisenhunt yet. So absolutely you do that. That's just one that's like, bam, let's get this one done as quickly as possible. All right, real quick, we'll go to last night's game again, lose 3-2 to the Indians. Ray wasn't great last night. We're used to seeing him better. It wasn't bad, but I think that's the first time he's given up 3 runs since, if I remember correctly, April 13th or April 14th. So it's been a while. And, he has been just so good. But 3 runs is still, you give up 3 runs, 6 innings, and you give up 3 runs overall, you expect, hey, we could win that game. Look, Rafael Devers isn't going to do it all, obviously. And he learned that last night. You got to have some help around you. And, a couple of times, like, Ramos had a chance, walked him. They're like, nah, we'll keep moving further down the order and take our chances there. So, but last night, bottom of the 8th, 3-2, Schmidt leads off with a single. Another single, first and second. Nobody out. Okay. Productive out here. You're good. Single ties the game. A lot of options here. The one option that can't happen happened. Wilmer Flores lines out to left. Schmidt gets doubled off second. That is such little league crap. Like, that can't happen. That can't happen. Period. It was a rough couple innings for Casey Schmidt because he struck out to end the game with the bases loaded. But look, that happens. Clase is a really good closer. Not as good this year as he was last. Last year, he was insane. I think last year he had a .61 whip and a .66 ERA. Like, he was unhittable last year. You could not hit him last year. This year, he's hittable. A lot of guys are on base against him. Look at the ninth. A lot of guys on base against him. His whip is like 1.5, but he manages to wiggle his way out of traffic most of the time, which he did last night. So Schmidt ends the game striking out. I'm guessing they look like a couple sliders, same exact spot. Schmidt couldn't lay off him. And look, he's not going to be the first nor the last to get struck out by Clase to end the game. That's okay. Yeah, that happens. Of course, it does. You don't get double off in the bottom of the eighth on a run. You just don't do it. You can't do it. I was like, what is this? The Dubon Giants? What are we doing here? We're just like running around without knowing what the hell we're doing. Like I literally had to like breath, because that kind of stuff just. I mean, come on. You just that can't that no. There's certain things you go, okay, I kind of okay, okay. That one, there's no there's no maybe that could. Oh, I see what happened there. I didn't know. That's just bullshit baseball. That's it. That's garbage. You get that can't happen. Period. Dot. Period. Cannot happen. So they go down 3-2, but obviously, in those uniforms, I usually don't comment on uniforms too much. What are those things? What are they paying homage to? Like, what is it? I don't even know what it is. Like, what is San Francisco about those uniforms? I'm guessing it's supposed to be like graffiti. The hats, the helmets are grotesque. Like the orange helmets with the little purple swirls and like, who sat down and said that's a good idea? And who okayed that? Who said, you know what? I like it. It was as if somebody said, you know, the other ones were kind of shitty, even though I didn't mind them that much. You can't go wrong with all white. I know the fog. There was some stuff that was, you know, I didn't love about but I did like the orange hats. I am an orange hat aficionado. I don't know why. I just like the color orange speaks to me for some reason, which is maybe why I have some Orioles stuff, Giant stuff. I just kind of like orange. So I like the City Connect hats, the old ones, the orange ones, and the unis were again. They're okay. They weren't great, but they're okay. It's as if somebody sat down and says, you know what, those were okay. Let's make them shittier. How do we do that? What do we do to this orange hat and like, how do we make it? What's the word I'm looking for? How do we make it worse? So they sat down, racked their brains, and go, I got an idea. Let's come up with something that no one will guess is San Francisco. Like, because I guess somebody said it's supposed to be a nod to the Grateful Dead. It is. That I would have never got that. Like, I'm not a Deadhead at all. I would have never thought that was an ode to the Grateful Dead. And if I were the Grateful Dead, I would look at those and go, don't attach that to us. Because I don't, again, it's whatever. Whatever it is, it ain't hidden. It's not hidden. You look at it and go, well, again, who thought of this? Like a blind fourth grader? Yeah, what do we have here, man? I don't know. Shit. I just throw it on there, put it on. How's it look? I don't know. I can't see. Looks. Gotcha. Looks good, Timmy. Well done. Thank you. I did. So anyway, they wear those uniforms. Almost feel like turning the game off. Like, it's just awful. Awful uniform. And hey, look, the City Connect for the most part are awful, and I'm okay. What is this? Okay, let me take my glasses off and read this. Inspired by the music of San Francisco, the beats, the rhythm, the sound of the city are woven into every thread. If I can quote my dad here, my ass, he woven into shit. He woven into purple. The New York Giants were violet from 13 to 17, a tribute to New York University. And this, I mean, had okay, the signature remix. Got to have the remix. Is it the European remix or the dance remix? Framed in their gradient accent, whatever that means, and then script motion. So the new giant script flowing like a psychedelic music. It flows like you're fucking on psychedelics. And I have never been on psychedelics, but I'm assuming that's what you would see if you were on psychedelics. The patch is their iconic outfield glove. Okay, remixed with Summer of Love and Energy, more like Summer of Shit. Pressed like grooves on vinyl flowers with City Pulse, like whatever. Okay, the gradient. Oh, the accents are just, I mean, come on. Orange and violet, crossfade, vibrant and fluid. Yeah, vibrant shit. Music icons, 9 music genres that shape the Bay. Remember, we built this city on rock and roll. Sampled across the jock tag and cap interior. I mean, that's a lot of words to say these things fucking suck. I mean, they really do. I mean, look at that. Yeah, music icons. Yeah, let's just what else is there? What else is there out there? That this is the music that inspired the area. Well, fucking that's everything. Did you leave any is there anything that's left out of there? I guess I guess heavy metal could be under rock, but there is no heavy metal. There's no thrash metal. There's no death metal. I guess that could all be rock. Jazz, electronic, pop, hyphy. Okay, someone's gonna have to help me out with that. I have no idea what hyphy is. Country, rock, Latin, blues, hip hop. Okay, that's stop rolling that shit. I'll, I'll spend all day on this. I'll keep looking over and going, come on. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's the best. That is the best. I mean, wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to I gotta crack a beer on that. And it's okay that I'm cracking this, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But cheers to you on a Wednesday. Good Lord. Where'd that hair come from? Yeah. Like crime scene out here. Oh, that was tasty. So yeah, I mean, uniforms garbage. They're terrible. There's some people that don't like the Friday oranges. Friday oranges are nice. I like the Friday oranges. Again, I like orange, but orange and black, great color scheme. Uh, Creams are okay. I don't mind them. I like white, white. Nice crisp white, but creams are okay. But those are just come on. And there's nobody that can. And then I just love. Okay, how are we going to sell this? What are we going to throw out there? It's inspired by the music that inspired the Bay Area, which is fucking everything. I just throw it to throw it out there. All right, I'm surprised Barney wasn't on there, like kids music. Because no, that was that was no. So anyway, Giants lose, and as we start getting into more full-fledged baseball season, we'll probably be getting into a little more baseball, a little more Giants, and then baseball as a whole. But we still have one more at least NBA game to go. The Stanley Cup was awarded last night to the Florida Panthers, and they were the better team the whole way. They just were. If you watched into the Stanley Cup, uh, Toronto, who fired everybody, may have been the second best team in the playoffs this year. They actually took Florida to a game 7 and lost that game 7 which I think every game, I think I look back, every game, game 7 or clinching game the Panthers played in, they won by more than one. So it wasn't even that close. Like they were a pretty dominant team in the postseason. Lightning took them to 6. Maple Leafs took them to 7. I want to say the Canes took them. There's only 5, and then Edmonton took them to 6. But Edmonton won 2 of their games in overtime. The games that weren't decided in overtime, which the Oilers were 2-1 in, Florida dominated those games. Just dominated, and they were the better team. The better goalie. Bobrovsky was better than the combo of Skinner and Picard. And then, outside of Draisaitl and McDavid, the Oilers had a tough time getting going, where the Panthers just come at you in waves and dudes, and they could beat you so many different ways with so many different guys. And the thing that really stood out to me watching Florida, and I didn't watch them a ton during the early round. Again, I watched maybe one game against the Lightning, and then I watched a few of those games against the Maple Leafs, and I watched all the games against the Canes and all the Stanley Cup final. Is they really force you to make decisions quickly. They're coming at you like they're downhill all the time. They put so much pressure on you. You make a mistake, they capitalize. Look at the first goal last night. I think it was Reinhart. Turnover. Was it Bouchard that turned it over at the blue line, and Reinhart took it from him? Bang. Goal. I think Marchand did that the game before. Like, you just can't. You turn it over against these guys, but they're coming. They're not giving you room to breathe. They're not giving you room to take a beat. Like, you got to make decisions quick, and you got to make good ones. And if you do, you might be able to get some breakouts against them and get some opportunities for yourself. But if you don't, then you're screwed. Because once they get you pinned and they can start that forecheck and play keep away in their offensive zone, you're in trouble. And the Oilers just weren't up to it. And they just didn't quite have the goaltending, didn't quite have the D. And it's too bad. I think McDavid will get one. I hope he does. It'd be great to see him get one. But Florida's just, poof, they're tough. They're really, really, really good. So I was kind of rooting for the Oilers because, again, I'd like to see McDavid get one. He's so good. He is so good. Even if you don't watch hockey and you watch him, you're like, whoa, this guy's different. You watch him with the puck, he just glides. He glides, and he's a one-man entry. I love it against when Edmonton's on the power play. They just give it to him and let him build up some speed. And he just, sometimes teams have a hard time entering it into the offensive zone when they're on the power play. Not with Edmonton. You just give the puck to McDavid, right downhill, boom, you're good to go. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. But anyway, so Florida wins. Bennett gets the Conn Smythe. He was really good during the postseason. And I love the Conn Smythe. I love the fact, and I wish they would do this in other sports. I love the fact that Conn Smythe isn't the Stanley Cup Finals MVP. It's the playoffs MVP. So it encompasses the entirety of the playoffs. And I think that's so cool. So cool. Like, you could have somebody have a one-off and have a really good series and you win the Stanley Cup. And I would imagine that's weighted more heavily. But when you give it to someone over the course of 2 months, and winning that Stanley Cup's brutal. I mean, just think of the grind. Think of the absolute grind. What do we got here? It says, this is breaking news. So the Bus family is entering an agreement to sell majority ownership. Wow. Holy crap. And I don't know who Mark Walter is, CEO and chairman of Diversified Holding Company, Global, blah, blah, blah. Jeannie Bus will continue to serve in a role as governor after the sale. Holy smokes. Are you kidding me? Dr. Bus got to be rolling over. Really? Wow. The Bus family is not going to own the Lakers. What's going on in the NBA? First Cuban, now the Bus family? Holy smokes. I mean, this was, if you watch Showtime, again, watch it for what it's worth. But there's some documentaries out there that talk about, Dr. Jerry Buss when he bought the team, how he bought the team, how he always wanted to be the Lakers, own a franchise, owns the Lakers, kind of on a shoestring because it wasn't like he was ultra rich, but I mean, that was his baby. That was his baby. You got to call him Doctor, by the way. I found that out when I was down in LA doing a game. Him and his assistant was walking by, and I go, "How you doing, Mr. Buss?" And he just kept walking. And his assistant stopped and came back and looked at me and said, "That's Doctor." I said, "Great, thanks." Uh, Whatever. Like, I get it. Like, you're a doctor. A doctor of what? I don't know. I mean, I think it was like I don't think it was like an honorary thing. I think it was actually really smart. But say you forget, you're gonna make a big deal out of it. Like, I wouldn't. I earned that. I earned that, doctor. Call me a doctor. Okay. Uh, but that was his thing, right? Owning the Lakers, Showtime, Magic, Kareem, Worthy, championships, Lombardi, going to the finals. Like, that was it. And then he passed it down to his kids. Jeannie was the one that ran it. I can't remember the boys' names. And I don't know how involved they were. But it's been since what? Have to be since, I don't know when Dr. Buss bought the team. 78 maybe? Right around in there, I would say 78. So let's just say 78. That's what, 22, almost 50 years. The Lakers have been owned by the Busses, and now, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Like, I have no idea how it's going to change the team, but we saw how it changed the Mavericks. Trust me on this. If Mark Cuban still had controlling interest in the Mavericks, Luka Doncic would not be a Laker. Like, that is a given. So now I'm not going to say that something as seismic as that will happen with the Lakers, but to have the a member of the Buss family not own the LA Lakers is like, wow, especially for someone like me growing up in LA, rooting for the Lakers. Lakers are my favorite team. Magic, my favorite player. Dr. Buss was always there. He was like, well, he was synonymous with the Lakers, and now, wow, that's interesting. Well, I know a lot of teams are starting to sell. I guess you can sell. I'm not going to get into this too deep because I don't really understand all the ins and outs of it, but teams are allowed to sell, I think, minority interests uh, in their teams now, which is kind of interesting. I think the Niners are doing that. So I don't know. There you go, Mark Walter. I'll have to look into that when I'm off the air. Just find out. I mean, not that I really care. Because the name doesn't ring a bell. Really, the big story is the Busses are not going to own. They're not going to be in control of the Lakers for the first time in damn near 50 years, 47 years. So, kind of a bummer that corporations are taking over everything. The mom and pop shop don't exist anymore. Don't exist. It's all got to be corporations and bureaucracy, and it is what it is. Whatever, but kind of sad. Well, not sad. I'm not gonna cry. Uh, anyway, let's get back to the hockey. So we got done with we were talking about the Conn Smythe Trophy and how it's for the entirety of the playoffs. So, but what I wanted to ask anybody here that watches hockey occasionally, and again, I watch a decent amount of hockey, especially in the playoffs, and then I'll bounce around and watch some games throughout the course of the regular season. And here's what I have to know. I don't know if I need to get John Stossel on this and do an investigative piece, uh, but I need to find out why there's always a hot chick behind the bench or behind the penalty box. Like, and when I say always, I don't mean all like 100% of the time, but a good 85%, there is a hot chick behind the bench. Now, I don't know exactly what happens. Even coaches know. Look at that. Look at Peter DeBoer. He knows. Look at that. Show that again. Hey, Pete, do you know there's a hot chick? Yeah, he knows there's a hot chick. Look at him. He's like, yeah. Let me slap right. Boom. Gotcha. Let's play tag. That's the coach. So, like, everybody knows. I want to know how. How and why? Well, no, forget scratch the why. I know the why. I'm just wondering I'm just wondering about the how. Like, how does this happen? Is this like NHL teams? Okay, I think that's good. I think everybody gets the picture. Hopefully Peter's not watching. Although, you know what? If you're gonna do that, you probably get a kick out of it. You probably laugh at it. It's hilarious. Because why? What coach would do that? Like, what coach is gonna do that? Gotcha. I see you. I see you. Uh, and I was watching the. So this. Hold on, I'll find this for you. This is from last night. And let's see if I can. Yep, there it is. This is Paul Maurice. And right behind Paul Maurice. I think you could probably make it out. So I'm thinking, okay. I mean, and I texted a couple buddies. I was like, there we go. I go, there we go. You hit your parlay. You're good to go. I mean, hot chick, that's a relative term, of course, but if you start watching hockey, you're going to start noticing these things. And I want to know, you may even learn what icing is. Of course, who cares what icing is? Just pay attention for the hot girl behind the bench. But we'll worry about icing later on. And speaking of icing, it's got to be cold in there with those tank tops. Moving on. Is it something that like teams facilitate? Is it women that want to be like maybe find out who they are on social media and helps boost their numbers? Now I've seen there used to be a hot girl that was in San Jose that it was a bail bonds. What's that bail bonds down in San Jose? It wasn't Chico's bail bonds because that was the Bad News Bears. I can't remember what bail bonds it was, but like she was down there. So that was like advertising, right? Get the bail bonds right there. You get the big boobs and the t-shirt, and you're good to go. And that's a great thing, though. That's a great thing about getting a girl with big boobs to wear the t-shirt. It stretches it out, and you can read the lettering. It's like easier to read. So whatever you're advertising, you're like golden because your shirts, sometimes your shirt gets a little wrinkled like this, and you're like, where'd that letter go? Like there's a D missing or an A, and you're trying to put the word together. Like you get somebody with like, big boobs, and it's just like, bam, like, oh yeah, I can totally read that. If I need bail bonds, that's where I'm going. I'm absolutely going there. And not because the breasts. I'm going because I can read it. They're legible. They seem legitimate to me. I'm going there. If I'm going to jail and I need bail money, I'm going to Billy's Bails Bond. Somebody's got to remember the goddamn name of that bail bonds, because it was like at every game, literally every short game I watched or went to, there was that bail bonds there. But I need to find. Somebody's got to do some sort of like investigative journalism on this, because how is it possible? Like, are all the hot women, like, do they have some sort of coven, coalition, whatever website where they can buy tickets, like hotwomentickets.com, hotwomenNHLtickets.com, NHL for hot chicks? They have them reserved for them. Like they get two a game. Just send in a photo, and they'll tell you if you're hot enough. Yeah, you're hot enough. Here's your two tickets. team do it. It really is stunning how high the percentage is of women behind the glass. And again, they could sit anywhere, right? You could be on the glass, you could be anywhere, but nope, not anywhere. Behind the bench and behind the penalty box, right behind the player. So it is strategic. There's no doubt about that. It's strategic. Like you're not just picking those seats because behind the bench can't be great seats. In case you haven't noticed, there is no seats for the NHL coaches. They're standing up the whole game. So half the time, unless you like suits and you like the back of suits, that's about all you're seeing. Hey, you probably catch the game in between the coaches, but those seats to me are not great seats. So what other reason is there for you to be there? Be on camera. Maybe like 3 times a game. 4 times a game, maybe. I mean, maybe they show the coach more than that, but they do the interview once a game, and they're usually positioned perfectly so you can catch them. Now, behind the penalty box, it doesn't give you as much exposure, but you get a better seat. Because the penalty box, you can like look right through the glass, and if it's not a high penalty game, you're good to go. So anyway, whoever wants to do some digging, I gotta find that. I'm asking the people I know, NHL people, like what's going on with this? Help me out. Help a brother out. Like what is that? Oh, that's what it was. Bad boys. Thank you, Antonio. Bad boys bail bond. That's what every game. Somebody behind the bench. Bad boy bail bond. Bad boy bail bond. Bad boy bail. I was like, you would think like if you're the Sharks, you're like, yeah, you can't stop. Stop wearing that in here. Buy some advertising with us. We'll put up your billboard, but it's going to cost you. Then it costs you more than a seat. Bunny is about ready to knock over my drinks. I'm not sure what she has against my drinks today, but she's not having it. I don't know if she just doesn't like the fact that I'm drinking at like 1:45 on a Wednesday. What do you care, Bunny? You didn't see the new report? Huh? New report out. I'm going to get to it. So anyway, yeah, I want to find out what's going on there. I don't want to find out so much so that I want to put a stop to it. I mean, come on. Why would I want to put a stop to that? Let me see. I'm sitting there watching a sporting event. No, I don't want to see a hot girl behind the plexiglass. No, I don't like looking at pretty things. No, I don't like that. Duh. Of course, yeah. Of course I do. I like, yeah. If it's a pretty thing, it's nice to look at. Absolutely. So I don't want to put an end to it. Okay. Keep it there. Maybe you got to keep it quiet. Maybe it's like Fight Club. Maybe they don't talk about it. They don't talk about hot girl on the glass club. Again, I don't know how they do it, but they pull it off. You start watching hockey games. I'm actually going to, you know what? I'm just going to click on hockey games next year. I'm going to tape hockey games. I'm going to start sending pictures. And you guys are going to be like, holy smokes. Holy smokes. Tom's right. Tom is absolutely right. The hell's going on here? The one thing about hockey too, hockey plays the best music of any sport. Well, again, depending on what kind of music you like, for my taste, anyway, they play the best music. A lot of heavy metal, a little bit of rap, but a lot of punk, like some punk stuff. So I always loved the music they played at Sharks games. They just killed it until they dropped the puck. Then it was over. Now NBA game, they just keep playing. They're just like, nah, we're gonna keep playing. Let's keep playing the music while the game's going on, which is still, when you think about it, it's kind of weird, isn't it? I'm watching a game. It's not exciting enough. Play me some music. Funky white boy. Lay down the music. Play that funky music until you die. You don't even notice it anymore. You notice it more when they turn it off in NBA games, but still, I always found it interesting that the game itself wasn't good enough. We need music. Should we play music? Yeah, play it the whole game. And then remember when they tried to turn it off in New York? Everybody's like, "Oh, this is awful." I was like, "Yeah, it's so awful. It's just the game. That really sucks." I got to admit though, it was kind of weird because I kind of like those type of games, but it was definitely weird to have no music whatsoever. So that did kind of that was kind of wild. Basketball game tomorrow. Look, if Halliburton plays, I give him a shot. If he plays and he's effective, he's got a strained calf. If he doesn't play, then McConnell can't do what he did last game. McConnell was on fire last game. That guy was incredible. What did he have, like 17? And just it shot at a high percentage, but it was his energy. It was just, I mean, he's just going, man. This guy's always 100 miles an hour and seemingly mostly under control, which is wild. But they gave it that shot. They closed it within 2 at the end of the game. Well, not end of the game, in the fourth quarter, about 9 minutes left, and then Thunder extended it and it went about 11. Jalen Williams had 40. He had a fantastic game. Look, if Halliburton isn't playing, then I think they're toast. Maybe they can win one, maybe. And then I guess you got to give him a shot in game 7. Game 7's anything can happen. So there's still an outside shot that they could do it, but it's going to be really, really hard. Like Oklahoma City's been the best team all year long. From the jump, best team, best defensive team in the league, MVP, and just a really deep team. I won't keep going over the same thing over and over. So they should have won this. They're big favorites to win this. And it's hard to win if you're Indiana and you don't have your best player. And so we'll see what happens there. And then we'll get into the off season and we'll talk, where everybody's going. KD is going to be the big prize probably, but we'll get into the Warriors and, who they're going to trade. Are they going to trade? What kind of moves can they make during the off season to give themselves a better chance? Because Oklahoma City ain't going anywhere. And if San Antonio were to get KD, look out. If Houston were to get KD, look out. They were already the number 2 seed last year. I think Denver is going to beef up their efforts. And then we'll see what happens with the Lakers this offseason. So, all right, one of the reasons, before I get to why, usually I'm not drinking 1:30 on a Wednesday, but I was celebrating. But I did find this out here. I came out here and sat down. This is where you normally do the show. And I look to my right and I go, well, what is that? Looky here. And I found this. Now, oh, there it is. It's working. I thought, why is this out here? Well, the computer is sitting on a little fireplace, which I haven't used very much, but if you want to light the fireplace, use this. So I said, well, if you have that, why do you have this? Why is this out here? And by the way, I used to do this cool trick when I was in high school. Great trick. So what I would now I've told people this, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make sure that you understand me. I'm going to make sure everybody understands me that I'm not advocating you doing this. In fact, hear me when I tell you this. I'm getting serious. Don't do this. Don't ever, ever, ever do this. There. Ever. That's my disclaimer. So, what I did when I was in high school, and I don't know if I learned this from somebody or came up with this myself. It's stupid enough that I came up with it myself. So, what I did is you take the thing here and you don't try and light it. You just let the butane loose. And then you put it to your mouth and fill your mouth up with butane and then hit this and go, dude, that was Gene Simmons. I was fucking Gene Simmons. Well, I mean, I was fucking Gene Simmons. Do not do this. Again, I don't care how old you are. And if you're a kid, what the hell are you watching the show for? You shouldn't be watching the show, but do not. Don't. I was an idiot. I was an absolute idiot for doing it. I mean, it was super cool, but I was an idiot. Okay. Can you imagine? You get the hiccups. Oh, oh, loser. Oh, that is loser. Like it's like, it's like that movie Backdraft with Kurt Russell and one of the bald ones nobody cares about, where the fire gets sucked in and they open the door and that's what that would have been like if I would have hiccuped, and it would have backdrafted down my throat, and that wouldn't have been good. But it would have served me right for being an idiot for doing the big. But again, fire was pretty cool. Do one of these, little fireball. Where was Twitter back then? Where was social media back then? I'd have killed it. You imagine doing my own little fire stunts? People would have been waiting for me to hiccup. Like, I pray this guy hiccups. I want to see what happens when he hiccups. Going to be incredible. So, got the lighter, got this. And then I was like, what are these? I don't even know what these are. What are these? Park Social pre-rolls. I don't even know what those are. I was like, what is that? I don't know. But then I did come across something that rang a bell. Moon Rock mini blunts. I was like, ha ha. Let me see what these are. Oh, pungent. The hell is that thing? Wait. That's like nothing. There's supposed to be something in there? That doesn't look like a mini blunt. It looks like mini nothing. Now this looks like a mini blunt. There's evidence sitting here. It says Raw. WWE Raw? Is there a SmackDown version of this? They got raw blunts? Is that like organic blunts? But I have no idea what this is. Moon Rock mini blunts. Cap Junkie. Flour, liquid live resin, and diamonds. 100% tobacco free. Nice. World's strongest hybrid. All right, so I thought for a second, I go, what the hell? Daniel and Max sneaking over here? Like when I'm not doing the show? Just coming and hanging out in the backyard and lighting up joints? So, yeah, I found that out here. Oh, and this too. This is sitting next to me. You don't want to forget Groot. I am Groot. Groot's the man. Groot's the man. All right, let's get to why I was having a beverage on a Wednesday afternoon. Hey, good one too. Brought the monkish hellish back. Very tasty. But a new report just came out. Somebody said Bill Martin leftovers. Could have been. Wrong side of the yard, but it definitely could have been Bill Martin. Let's see. Oh, hold on a second. My application for a $53,000 loan has been accepted. And a $91,000 loan and an $84,000. Oh, look at that. I'm rolling right now. You kidding me? You kidding? Wait, how much are my payments? What's this say? Let's see. They called me from Ripley, New York. Like Ripley, like Alien Ripley? Like the little girl Ripley? Let's see what this guy says. He says $600 a month. That's it? Oh, I'm stealing. I can't do that. I feel like I'd feel guilty for taking money from him. This one's $41,610 payment. Oh, my goodness. The deal's so good. So good. Feel like I'd go to jail if I accepted it. It's criminal. I'm stealing. Stealing. I'm not going to do it. But it's a report that Ogden sent me. Let's see. So it's from Reuters. Exclusive. It's an exclusive. Everything's an exclusive nowadays. U.S. to drop guidance to limit alcohol to 1-2 drinks a day. So no more 1-2 drinks a day. It's just like do what you got to do to get through. The U.S. government expected to eliminate from its dietary guidelines the long-standing recommendation that adults limit alcohol consumption to 1 or 2 drinks per day, according to 3 sources familiar with the matter. And what could be a major win for an industry threatened by heightened scrutiny of alcohol's health effects. Yeah, you think they had something to do with this? you think it's possible they had something to do with this? And they're probably pretty happy, I would imagine. But is this change? I'm like, oh, cool. I'm gonna start drinking earlier now. Like I ever adhered to the guidelines because of the guidelines. I think I know what's kind of healthy for me. Like 7 beers a day, not healthy for you. You want to have 1 or 2? Fine. And if it's not that healthy for you, bite me. Like what if you were to live your life based on the guidelines, the dietary guidelines of what is it? I don't know if it's not the CDC, of course, but who does the guidelines? Anyway, who cares who does the guidelines? I really don't care. But now Canada, by the way, Canada is like 1 drink a day. It says 2023 Canada warned health risks begin to increase after just 2 drinks per week. Fuck off, Canada. You kidding me? Who's getting through the week with 2 drinks? You can, like, if you drink, you're not drinking 2 drinks a week. Like, I don't know. Do I want to have this one on Tuesday or Wednesday? Because I'd like to save one for Friday or Saturday. Or do I just have 1 Friday and 1 Saturday, and then I can't have this one? And then, oh, it's so hard. I don't know. I only get 2. How do I divvy it up? Hey, really? Like, why? Why should I believe that report? So the report is don't drink alcohol, don't eat red meat, don't eat this, don't eat that, eat this, don't eat that. It's like, well, are we just like, are we guessing? I think we're guessing is what we're doing. And I'm not even sure that all the things, the greens and everything that are supposedly healthy for you, beets. How come everything that's healthy for you tastes like shit? They got to move it somehow, don't they? They got to get rid of this stuff somehow. Like, look, if I'm growing beets, I'm like, bro, I got a lot of beets here. Okay, Thanksgiving and Christmas only come around a couple times. I got 1 Thanksgiving, 1 Christmas. What am I going to do with beets? I don't know. We'll make up something great for beets. Lowers blood pressure. How about that? Okay. Like it. Limits scoliosis. Okay. Now we're on to something. Helps with bone density. Yeah, you might be pushing it there. That's milk. Milk comes in and goes, fuck off, Beats. You're not getting that. This is my block. Get off my block. Beats like, well, I'm just looking for a block. And so far I got scoliosis and I got blood pressure, which is, blood pressure one's a nice one. That's a nice one because usually that's kind of like the greens that you want to eat. But who wants to eat all those greens? Again, you eat them because they're good for you. They're supposedly good for you. No one's going to tell you something that tastes good is beneficial to your health. They don't need to. They don't need to. Do you think they give away a Rafael Devers or Buster Posey bobblehead when the Dodgers are in town? Fuck no. No. Guess when they give those away? When the Marlins are in town. Because they know they may not sell as many tickets during the Marlins game as the Dodger game. They don't need to entice you to go to the Dodger game. They need to entice you to go to the Marlins game. They don't need to entice you to eat steak. They don't need to entice you to eat certain fruits. They're just food. They don't need to entice you to eat pasta. They don't need to entice you to eat. Well, maybe they do. I like fish. Some people don't. But they they need to entice you to eat all the shit in the produce section that you look at and say, well, that stuff's good for me. I should probably get some of that. Because guess what? If beets weren't good for you, like 13 people would eat beets worldwide. How many people would eat leafy greens? More rabbits would eat leafy greens than humans would eat leafy greens because no one wants to eat leafy greens. Like you eat leafy greens because, well, leafy greens do something positive. I don't even know what it is. Maybe they help with ingrown toenails. I don't know. With dental decay. I'm not nose hair, something, ear wax. Like, what is it? Why do I need to eat that? The produce section is mostly made up of the Florida Marlins on the schedule, right? Steaks are the Dodgers. The meats are the Dodgers. You're like, okay, got it. Good, good. Yeah. Yeah, I know you don't want this ribeye, but it is good for you. It lowers cholesterol, lowers fatty acids, lowers. All right. All right. Give me a ribeye. Give me a ribeye. Half of one though. I don't want the full one. No one says that. No one has to say that because everybody wants a steak. And if you don't want a steak, it's usually chicken, pork, fish, and if you're a vegetarian, you're a vegetarian, cool, whatever. More steak for me. But that's why I've always felt like that's why you have to get these like recommendations from the American Health Society, whoever, eat beets. When's the last time you sat down at a meal and had a beet? Little barbecue on a Saturday. Get out there. Maybe do what I do tonight. I'm gonna get some kebabs tonight. Underrated. Kebabs are so underrated, man. You do like 3 different meats, a couple bell peppers, some onions, mushrooms. Bam, put them on the grill. Incredible. Incredible stuff. So you get the kebabs, you're good. But how many of you have thought to yourself, I lost my train of thought. And this happens to me like all the time. Usually I'm pretty good at getting it back. But to have to go through the whole thing of we need to get you to eat more of this, not as much of this. That's how I feel about most guidelines. Like I always feel like there's an agenda for what they're pushing. So why are they pushing not as much alcohol? Why are they pushing more alcohol? But this is the reason that I was having a beer. I was like, cool, restrictions are off. No more governor, no more restrictor plates. And speaking of governor, isn't like the lamest thing NBA called the owners governors? Hello, governor. How are you today? Cheerio. Good win last night. Fucking governor. I mean, there's being woke and then there's being the NBA. Like governor, let's call them governors. Because we don't want to confuse anybody. We don't want them to think like the players are slaves and the owner's like an owner, like a plantation, like one of those type deal. That'd be bad. That'd be bad. Let's make sure we make that distinction. What do you say we go with governor? All right, let's go with governor. We don't want to confuse people. All right. All right, governor. So now we call them governors. And now the confusion isn't there. Now we know for sure, for a fact, that they're basketball players, not slaves, because, the confusion. We don't want to confuse anybody out there. It's just some of the shit so stupid. Kills me. So go ahead and have yourself a beer. Restrictor plates are off. You're good to go. So, no guilt. You're all good. Enjoy your Wednesday. All right, let's take a few comments if you want. We can do that. See what everybody has. Again, we touched on the Laker thing a little bit. It's interesting to me that the Buss family is no longer owns the Lakers, but as far as Mark Walter, and I guess he owns the Dodgers too. I guess he's in there with the Dodgers. Sparks. Wow. The dude's got his hands in a lot of stuff. So there you go. Chairman and controlling owner of the Dodgers. Okay, so he's down there with Goober. So he'll have the Lakers and the Dodgers. Goober has the Warriors and the Dodgers. It's just weird to me. Like, you can be part of one ownership group and then you compete in another sport against each other as owners. And again, like I said, the mom and pop shop's over. Miles Turner versus Sabonis value. It depends on what you want. I mean, I'd take Sabonis. I like Sabonis. I think Miles Turner is better defensively than Sabonis is. He's a more consistent 3-point shooter than Sabonis is, but I think Sabonis is a better playmaker. You can run the offense through Sabonis. He's better down low, and that's a good question. I'd take Sabonis, but I like Turner. But I'd take Sabonis. I like Sabonis. Again, I don't know that he's like a legit, like, he's a poor, everybody says he's a poor man's Jokic. Like, I would say, yeah, like poor man's. Cause he's good, but that doesn't give, and it's not taking anything away from Sabonis. It's, Jokic is that good. Like, it's not even close between Jokic and Sabonis. Okay. Epidemic Ales. I've never had Epidemic Ales. You have to let me know where that's from. You're enjoying a beer. I'm enjoying a beer. Not even close. Like, I got one from Monkish, which is from Torrance, California. But you have to let me know where Epidemic is from as well. You mentioned you listened to punk in the 90s. What, Bad Religion, Pennywise? Yes. Rancid? Yes. No FX? Not as much. No FX. But I am going to see Bad Religion at the Fox in late July. They're going to be there with the Dropkick Murphys. They're opening for the Dropkick Murphys, and Bad Religion's the band that I really want to see. I'm going to hang around for the Dropkick Murphys because they're cool. But Bad Religion, I've never seen. I'm a huge fan of Bad Religion. I've always wanted to go see Bad Religion. But I will tell you right now, I'm not going to play music for you because we already tried that, and I shouldn't have. But anyway, let's see what I have here. I gave you my punk, some of my punk bands that I listen to: Bad Religion, Pennywise, Rise Against, Sum 41, Offspring. I don't know if I consider them punk, but I have them in this playlist. Mighty Mighty Boss Stones. It's not really punk either, but I have them in the playlist. The Clash, kind of punk, kind of early punk. Got a bunch of Clash. Teenage Bottle Rocket. AFI, Rancid. Not really. I mean, they're not considered punk. Dissident. Bandits of the Acoustic Revolution. That's more kind of ska-ish. The Interrupters. I like. And then I got a bunch of like old, like old punk, like that I like 70s punk, like old school punk. I labeled it The Damned. I listened to Dead Kennedys, Fugazi. So bands like that, Stiff Little Fingers. I love the Stiff Little Fingers, but what kind of name is that? Like, what do you want to be? I don't know. Let's be Stiff Little Fingers. All right. Let's go with it. Let's run with it. So Concord, California. Okay, I will look for that when I'm in Concord, California. I'm always on the lookout for new beer. Okay, let's see. What do I make of Fisher selling the Quakes? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he needs money for the move to Vegas for whatever reason. I'm not sure what, but yeah, if you read the screen, John Fisher selling the Quakes. They said the value is going to be $500-600 million, I guess, somewhere around there. But yeah, I would think that would have something to do with the A's moving to Vegas when they move to Vegas, and to help facilitate their move to Vegas, that he needs the money. So, but I'm not sure in what capacity. Look, I have no interest in the A's. I just don't. I used to watch the A's a little bit, but John Fisher just any interest that I might have had, I lost. And it wasn't a bunch of interest, but I'd watch a game occasionally. And it's not like I stay away from the A's on purpose, like I'm doing it for any philosophical reasons. It just, they're the A's. And I don't really care that much. I've never cared that much about the A's. Pat Bailey activated tonight. Porter and Beck have been optioned for Bailey and Verlander. That's right, Verlander's coming back. So good deal. That's per Alec Pavlovich. But I just, it's whatever. When they play the Angels, I watch them. But other than that, I have no reason to watch. I have no reason to watch the A's. None whatsoever. And so, yeah, Spurs with KD would be intriguing. Front line of Wemby. I hope he's healthy. I hope he's 100%. I hope he's able to come back and has a long, long, long NBA career. I hate when guys that have that type of talent get their careers cut short. Like Yao Ming was the biggest one. So I hope he played, but that would be intriguing. I don't think I'm going to Metallica. There's still a possibility I might go to one, but as of now, no. But we'll see. But if you're going, enjoy. I guess they're, what is it, 3 days? Doing a 3-day bender down at Levi's. That's going to be a rager. I'll be down there. So maybe. But I've seen him 3-4 times now. Do I like hazy little things? Yeah, I don't drink it that often. It's okay. Like, I mean, if I'm going to drink a Sierra Nevada, though, just give me the pale ale. Sierra Nevada pale ale is like still a classic. Me and a buddy of mine, Lester, had one over at Lucky 13 in Alameda not that long ago. And it's still like you taste, you're like, God dang, this thing's still relevant. It's still really good. It really is. And I don't have enough of them. I don't have like them in the fridge at all times. You kind of move on and go to other stuff and you think, that's old stuff. But man, you taste, you're like, it's still there. Sierra Nevada pale ale. Just, hey, I'm here for you. You want to come back? Give us a warm hug, embrace us. We got you. And we had it. We both agreed. It's still, god dang, Sierra Nevada pale ale is still really good. My thoughts on the Bain trade. I thought there was a heavy, heavy, heavy price the Magic paid. Heavy. He gave up Anthony and KCP, 2 rotational players, and 4 unprotected first. And I think a pick swap. So, I mean, that is a ton. Like, you don't get unprotected first. Like, no one gives up unprotected first. Everybody, but I like it. I wish all of them would just be, look, no more protections. Take the rubber off. All right. No more prophylactic trades. Either you trade it first or you don't trade it first. If you want to trade it, trade it. If you don't, stop saying, well, let's protect the even numbers or the odd numbers or numbers that are divisible by 3. How about that? Oh, it's pick 6. Sucks. You don't get it. Either you trade the pick, you don't trade the pick. But I can see where they're going for, right? They got Banchero. They got Wagner. They need shooting. They need shooting big time. And now they have a shooter. And he's tough. I like Bain a lot. And Memphis will miss him. But to get that type of return for your third best player, like Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., your best players. Question is, can you win with Morant? Can you win the big one with Morant? I don't know. I'm not sure. But I like the trade for both teams. But it is Orlando saying, hey, let's get after it. We're not sure exactly what Boston's going to look like next year. Tatum will be out most, if not the whole year. Their roster construction may be a little different. Cleveland, I'm sure, will be back. Pacers will be back. Not sure about Milwaukee, what they're going to look like. So I like the fact they went for it. They're tired of, squeaking into the playoffs, finishing 6, 7, 8, maybe going to the play-in game, maybe not, and then get bounced in the first round. So I like the move, but it's a heavy price. It is definitely a heavy price. All right, we got any more? We get on out of here and go before I can go get my kebabs. Gotta get my kebabs. Get all my stuff. I got to marinate them in too. Not sure what I'm going to do. I wanted to do a pork souvlaki and marinate it in the souvlaki, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. You know, always trying something new. So there you go. There's your last update. All right, everybody have a great day. You want to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye? Okay. Lou's got to be tired. Lou got a big walk in today, didn't you? Like 4 miles today. I know. Oh, you're such a big girl. 9 years old. 9. Hey, easy. See what happens? I mean, you give her an inch. No, you've already been fed. Stop it. Okay, that's enough. You can't. You try to give her some love and stuff, and she goes nuts. All right, everybody have a great day. Say goodbye, Lou. We'll see you guys on Friday.